Welcome to the XFO Intelligence Podcast with Deep Augmented Thinking. This is our briefing for December 2025. So, in the global race to become the world's leading family office hub, most jurisdictions are focused on, a battle of visibles. Things like tax rates, regulatory frameworks, and, five-star infrastructure. But after some pretty extensive observation of global wealth management centers, our research here at XFO Intelligence reveals a deeper truth. And it's this: the most successful ecosystems, they aren't just built, they're cultivated. They don't just attract family offices, they foster these living environments where trust compounds, where expertise concentrates, and where resilience becomes this core self-reinforcing trait. And this is not an accident. Not at all. It's the result of understanding that true leadership in this space, it really emerges from optimizing complex relationships, not from competing on price or policy alone. So the true differentiators, they're often invisible to conventional analysis. Let's explore this invisible architecture. We've identified 3 distinct layers that define a world-class hub. Okay, so the first, and this is the most foundational one, is the trust infrastructure layer. And this goes far beyond just legal statutes. It's the cultural bedrock of a place. The unspoken norms of discretion, the relationship protocols that fiercely protect confidentiality, and a professional community that prioritizes long-term reputation over any short-term gain. In these ecosystems, trust isn't some abstract ideal, it's a tangible asset that grows with every single interaction. Then second, you have the knowledge flow layer. The best hubs, they function like these sophisticated intelligence networks, where critical insights move with just extraordinary velocity. Unlike these transactional environments where information is hoarded as a private commodity, these ecosystems have developed these natural, confidential mechanisms for knowledge transfer. The most astute family offices, they can actually feel it when they've entered an environment like this. They find themselves making better decisions faster. And it's not because of siloed expertise, but because the entire ecosystem amplifies their collective intelligence. And the third, and maybe the most telling layer, is adaptive resilience. See, the true test of a leading hub is how it responds to disruption. Conventional centers, they often fracture under pressure, but world-class ecosystems demonstrate this remarkable, almost biological resilience. This isn't about having some dusty contingency plan on a shelf. It's about building a system with distributed capabilities and adaptive governance that naturally reconfigures and strengthens when it's challenged. Our observations also uncovered this fascinating nonlinear growth pattern we call the critical threshold phenomenon. Our data suggests that below a critical mass of, say, 30 to 35 substantial active family offices, an ecosystem just struggles. It can't sustain the deep specialized services that are required. But once a jurisdiction crosses that threshold, a remarkable transformation begins. Network effects accelerate exponentially. Talent, capital, opportunity, it's all drawn in at a compounding rate. This single phenomenon, it explains why so many jurisdictions, even with significant advantages, fail to achieve a true leadership position. They just never build the momentum to cross that critical threshold. And this brings us to a final and kind of counterintuitive insight: the leadership paradox. The most successful ecosystems we studied, they almost never declare themselves the best. They don't engage in loud marketing campaigns for the top spot. Instead, they focus relentlessly on creating the conditions where leadership becomes the inevitable organic outcome of system health. They just understand that leadership in this world, it can't be claimed. It has to be earned consistently and recognized by the community it serves. So what are the practical implications for building a world-class hub? For the policymakers and institutional leaders listening, our research points to 4 strategic imperatives. First, focus on relationship density over transaction volume. Second, design for adaptability, not just short-term optimization. Third, cultivate trust through consistent execution, knowing that a reputation built over years can be lost in a moment. And finally, enable emergence rather than trying to impose a rigid top-down structure. The future of family office leadership will belong to those who can master this invisible architecture. And the true measure of success, it's not going to be found in quantitative metrics, it's in the answers to qualitative questions. Do families feel their most complex challenges are truly understood? Are next generation leaders finding meaningful pathways to grow? Are the most difficult problems finding elegant solutions through the ecosystem's collective intelligence? The jurisdictions that focus on these deeper questions will find that leadership isn't something you declare, it's something you earn, day after day, relationship after relationship. Now, our full report, The Invisible Architecture of Leadership, delves much deeper into these findings and provides a strategic framework for implementation. For our listeners in policy and government, we invite you to request a complimentary copy. Just send an email to xfointelligence@gmail.com to receive your report. I'll say that again. That's xfointelligence@gmail.com. Thank you for tuning in to the XFO Intelligence Podcast. And hey, if this analysis provided you with value, we'd really appreciate it if you'd like, share, and subscribe to our channel. That way you won't miss our future briefings.